Welcome to another episode of Talking Spice.
Today we're going to talk about something a little bit
Spicy?
Maybe it's spicy, definitely spicy. A little bit. I think it's going to be a first little bit political topic we're talking about because there's some shit going down, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it.
You have to put
there's a lot of
disclaimer at the beginning.
The disclaimer is we're not politicians.
These are our opinions.
None of us own restaurants.
These are all opinions.
Yeah.
These are all just opinions and thoughts, and we're just going to see what we think. Because the current situation is that the government, in the long line of corona measures and preventive measures and whatever you want to call them, the latest one has been that restaurant owners and theaters and I think events and things of that nature, everything that falls in the horeca, you have to now scan the Coronapas
Yes, sir.
before people can enter the premises.
Yeah, you have to have a verified QR code that says that you are vaccinated to be able to enter into these places.
Or you got to get tested and still have the QR code.
Yeah.
Like you need a green light from the app. That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And I think it's been like going on for about a week now. Maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit shorter. But most places, you would assume, would just say, hey, if that's what I got to do,
That's what I gotta do.
that's what I do. If that's the law,
Yeah, I
if
gotta
that's
abide.
exactly.
That's how I make my money.
There
No.
you go. And also keeping in context that a lot of restaurants had been closed down for a long time, past year and a half.
A lot of restaurants went out of business because they've been closed down for
Exactly.
a year and a half.
So, but then you have people who take a very strong stance against this measure and decide to say, hey, we don't agree. We don't think it's appropriate. Some people go as far as to call it discrimination. And they refuse to play ball. And the big story is with a restaurant in our hometown of Utrecht, Waku Waku.
Waku Waku. Yeah.
And they decided to say, hey, we don't agree with this. We think this is unconstitutional. We think this is discriminatory. We don't want to discriminate, so we refuse to abide by this rule.
Yeah.
But Johnny Law came around and said, if you don't want to play ball, this is the law. This is the mandated rule.
Yeah.
Shut you down.
Shut you down. But not only did they shut them down,
They locked their
also-
doors.
no, they changed their locks.
Yeah. It's kind of excessive, bro.
That's excessive. So
Nah, man.
they don't have access to their business.
True.
You don't fuck with the government, man.
Yeah.
They got bigger locks and more forces.
So, what do you guys think about it? Do you guys the rule in general that you have to have a valid Coronapas to be able to attend horecagelegenheden?
For me personally, I am vaccinated, so yeah, for me it doesn't really matter. Okay, I got an app scan, that's fine. If a restaurant I go to does it, I don't really think about it that much, but I do have a lot of friends in that industry that own restaurants and so on. And I asked them a lot about it. And one thing that they told me is actually a lot of the people that come to the restaurants are actually very appreciative that they are doing that because they feel safe and comfortable. Whereas you
That's
have
the other side of the coin, of course.
exactly
Yeah.
people are like, oh, thanks for doing this. We appreciate that you're also thinking of your customers instead of just income.
Yeah, because there's another restaurant in Utrecht that before it was implemented, when they did announce the rule, there was like a deadline for it, right? And they posted on their Instagram. I'm not gonna say who it is, but they posted on Instagram like, "Hey, we're not gonna discriminate. We're not gonna do this."
Yeah.
Man, their comment section was lit
Yeah.
with people.
Yeah,
People were really livid about it. Be like, "Oh, great, another place that doesn't care about keeping people safe."
Yeah.
People were saying they're never gonna go to a restaurant again, or saying how dumb it is to do that. And they're saying, guys, it's discriminating against people who might get sick or are sensitive to the sickness or have underlying health issues that want to go to a safe place to eat without having to have, because restaurants can easily become a hotbed for infections because you're sitting for a long time exposed, people are eating, you're talking loud. So it's that sometimes those tiny little dividers in my opinion, it doesn't look like it does that much. So if you are vaccinated and you have underlying health issues and you want to stay safe, because even if you're vaccinated doesn't mean you're not get sick, then yeah, I can see for some people be like, hey, there's another restaurant that I can't go to because they don't want to protect me.
Yeah.
So what's your opinion on the situation? Are you pro Corona checking at horeca? Are you against it? Are you indifferent?
I am pro it because it is something that people have the rights to know. Just as the people that have the rights to not take the vaccine, I have also the rights to protect myself from people who are not. But there's also the situation of people who cannot get fully vaccinated. Like there are people that are allergic to the vaccine. Like there's this one lady who had her first shot and got like a really bad allergic reaction. Her hair started falling out, her throat closed up and stuff like that. So medically, she can't get the second shot. So for her situation, because of that, she can't get the green light from the app either. So
She can just get tested.
Sorry?
She can just get tested.
No, she has.
But like you can also get a green light if you get
negative.
That's negative.
True. But what I mean is, for a person who has done it and can't actually get it the way that other people do it, it's going to be a extra step for her to have a quote unquote normal life. So anytime because that's the thing, anytime you want to go out, you have to get that thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she would have, if she wants to go out weekly, she would weekly have to go and get that test. Mm-hmm. But for her case, she tried to get the vaccine. She physically can't get all of it. Mm-hmm. So she's right now in a spot where, she can't really do everything everyone else can.
Just as a disclaimer, if all things are assumed as fact, because you would actually, you never know, and
no, true.
So
true.
it might, all of that might be like false shit from the media, so we don't know. But if all statements are true, mm-hmm. then I definitely get your point.
Yeah, but that's the thing. There are cases of people being allergic to the vaccines as well. But all I'm mm-hmm. saying is that with being able to check everyone that has been that has had the vaccine, I think they also have to have a certain protocol for these kinds of cases where people want to have the vaccine but can't.
Yeah.
So have like a yellow light for them or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm assuming they would have to have one or another protocol for that. I'm not sure. I haven't looked it up, but I'm assuming there has to be something to make people's life easier. Because if not, it's like you said, you can get tested every week for every little thing. It's gonna be a fucking hassle in your life, right? So, yeah, I don't know, but I'm assuming there has to be, or they're working on one or other protocol where you can. I don't know.
I doubt it, because
what
we heard like during the lockdown for our sector was always, they can't do maatwerk. The Dutch government refuses to do maatwerk.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean with maatwerk?
So make a specific indication or rule or exception per case basis.
Oh, like that.
The Dutch government's all about like all restaurants, all gyms, all this, all that. Because like we were in a newspaper too of how we set up the gym. Mm-hmm. We set up a gym. We have 700 square meters in the gym.
Yeah.
And we said we could operate fine with a max of 15 people in the gym per time. Mm-hmm. So that comes down to a lot of square footage per person.
Yeah.
And we have huge roller, we have good ventilation, mm-hmm. our ceilings are fucking high, so there's a lot of space.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. It's for them, whether you're a gym like ours or you're a fucking little tiny dance studio or a fit for free.
Yeah.
They don't give a
it's
shit.
All the same.
What are your thoughts? Are you pro, against? Do you give a shit?
I mean, yeah, I definitely give a shit, but it's more. I think I would say I'm pro also, because I would want that
safety.
That safety, and there's knowing that I'm this place, everyone's tested, or either they're vaxxed or they tested and are negative, and I'm just safe in this place. I can freely just sit, eat, or whatever, enjoy my time there.
Yeah.
So and I do get the other side, because you're keeping people out, but then at the same time it's a choice whether you get vaxxed or not. So you're kind of putting yourself in that boat. So I would say I am also pro it being with the Coronapas and it being checked, just to make sure everyone in that space is safe. And I think it's a great and it's an important measure of combating the pandemic, to make sure this thing speeds up and we get over it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, true. That's
So
I honestly didn't think about it that way.
Yeah,
like
I think it's an important step. But that's the thing with the Waku Waku. I was reading up on it a bit, and they were saying, which I get the owners were saying, yeah, we don't want to discriminate. We don't want to put anyone, we don't want to kick anyone out. And we have a diverse kitchen, we have a diverse staff. We don't want to keep people out, blah, blah. I get all that. But then I think the government or the gemeente of Utrecht side was, yeah, we get that. But we think this Coronapas it supersedes that because it's an important step in combating the pandemic, which is a global thing, which is something the majority of people deal with. It's not just a specific restaurant. It's a thing that the majority's importance takes precedent there. In that case, I agree, and I assume that's what they meant, right? So I am in agreement with that, which is just an important step in making sure we get to pass this pandemic as soon as possible, so we can live a semi-normal life again.
Yeah, because most restaurants make it work.
Yeah,
and like it's maybe overly simplified, but it's still better than being closed in general. The months of lockdown will always be worse than aangepast. Like a little bit of I can't call a little bit because I don't know, not everyone has staff or the funds to have someone at the door the whole time. But you don't need the Coronapas to sit outside on the terrace. You just need it to come inside.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and where Waku Waku is on that street, there's not a lot of space for them.
No, it's a very busy street.
They have a pretty narrow restaurant, so there's not a lot of square footage on the pavement.
But even then, after the overhead or the gemeente came in and locked their doors, they're like, they can lock our doors, but we can still get in through the back. So we're gonna open up our terrace and we're gonna take reservations from the back, so we can still like.
Really, they did that shit?
Yeah. If they actually did or not, but that's what they said in the like when they were being interviewed in front of the restaurant.
What do you guys think about their reason? Because their reason is we don't want to discriminate. Like to me, like that kind of it. I understand completely. I agree with the process behind it, but like as person who has to actually deal with like racial discrimination, who has dealt with it, it seems like it is you're discriminating by definition, yes. Because of someone's specific
choice. Paper,
yeah, but then like people are discriminated against for their color of the skin. It's not a choice. It's like that's who they are or what they are. But this is a choice because like it's not like you could choose to get vaccinated and no one will discriminate against you.
Yeah,
you know. So like when people like they scream out, because we don't want to discriminate. Like I get it, but that it always takes me a second, like a double take to realize that they're talking about discrimination of choice
and not by default kind of who you are.
Because that's also something that crossed my mind. It's like because you see it in a lot of these quote unquote first world countries, like the second that it's something that it's something that affects them, protest, this is racism, we gotta not this dictatorship, but they forget, especially these first world countries have a lot of colonies that have people that have actually had actual discrimination that gets really violent and so on. So I think it's funny where, yes, I get it. Your opinion is not being validated or whatnot, but to necessarily call this discrimination, for me personally, I think no.
Like technically, still it is discrimination because you're compartmentalizing people based on a specific characteristic, and you're saying you're not allowed for that reason. But is it discrimination if the government is forcing you to do it? Because I don't see a restaurant. Because my point is they're saying we don't want to follow the rules because we don't want to discriminate.
Yeah.
So, like, by taking a horse ass fucking curve towards it, you can see it as so all the restaurants who do follow the rule are discriminating, but they're not. They're following a rule. They have no choice. When the government closed my business, I had no fucking choice.
Yeah.
It was either close or get a fine.
Yeah.
Or it was close or be shut down entirely.
Yeah.
So all the restaurants now who are playing ball and following the rules, I don't think that they're necessarily discriminating against people who don't want to get vaccinated. They have no choice. Their hands are tied. It's like I don't know how deep the pockets are of Waku Waku, but some restaurants maybe are still in the red from the lockdown before. So they're like, hey, I'm not doing shit to risk people.
Yeah.
And speaking as a business owner, my folks need money too. My staff. I don't know their situation. Maybe I don't know if they have a fucking floor manager who has a kid or something.
Yeah.
So I understand people's urge to not fuck with the hand that feeds you. You know.
Yeah, just follow
Yeah,
the rules.
that's actually something that I spoke to about with a couple of restaurant owners. In the beginning, before the actual law was passed, they were like, yeah, no, it's a bullshit law. We're not going to fucking do it because it doesn't make sense. Yada, yada. We're not going to do it.
But they're gonna fine you and close down your
No,
restaurant.
but
Shit.
no, but
okay, we are gonna do it.
No, but that's the thing.
That's how it usually goes.
It's a recently opened restaurant. So a couple weeks ago, I went to them again and asked them, so are you guys doing it or not? And like, yeah, we're doing it now because one, we're a new business, so we don't want to be on anyone's blacklist, especially the overhype.
Yeah.
And two, since we've been doing it, a lot of our customers are very appreciative of it. They're like, thanks for watching out for us. So yeah, that's their stance on it. And one thing that a lot of people online or whatnot also forget, the restaurants don't want to do this. The restaurants don't want to do this.
Their hands are tied.
Yeah,
No business wants
it's
to do
not
this.
their choice.
Yeah.
They would literally have to hire a person, and that person's job is all day to stand at the door, and every guest that comes in and checks them. No one has the funds for that. No one has the time for that. But online, you see all these people. Oh, this place is gonna have the Corona check app. Well, I guess I'm gonna just cook at home then and see how long you're gonna stay open. I'm like, it's no.
First of all,
it's not their choice.
You cook like shit, so
Yeah.
that you're not winning in this situation.
Kudu spices, you know?
Exactly. Buy some Tungu spices, so like you're justify your bullshit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these people, this is hurting their business. They don't. It's a business. They want more people. The more people to come in, the better. They don't want to exclude people. But
I
if
agree.
there's a law that they have to, what are you gonna do? Get your doors closed.
Yeah.
Because like since Waku Waku did it and they made a lot of noise about it, it caught headlines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're in the press and
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
being spoken about. And
They got crowdfunding.
yeah. So exactly. So their whole thing, like some people, not me, not us, but what you read online is and people calling it a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, it's a hell. They pulled it off like a motherfucker because they're upwards of
In
a
the
$250,000
news.
now in funding.
Yeah.
That's
In what, 2 days or something like
in
that?
4 days. Yeah.
Please, God.
And
They're basically
and a good friend of mine is good friends with the owner of Waku Waku,
Uh-huh.
and he praises him like to the utmost. Of he's a like genuine guy,
Yeah,
good
yeah.
guy, has a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah.
A very down to earth, nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, assuming that, then all the effects he's feeling now of it, it's still quite a benefit because I think a lot more people know Waku Waku now
than before.
than before.
Yeah, because me personally, before this whole thing, I've never heard of it. And I pass by that street quite often, but I just...
But it is pretty discreet though. Like their name on the building is pretty small,
True, yeah.
and then like they have like this little squiggly line design on the door, so it's
Yeah,
not like
yeah.
you know exactly what the fuck you're looking for.
Because now I have to really go look at it. I was like, oh yeah, there it is. Because I usually walk there. I didn't know Klook and the other restaurants and stuff like that, but that one, it never caught my eye until this whole debacle, you know?
Yeah.
So that if it is a publicity stunt or
Yeah, but
even if it isn't.
so let's assume it wasn't done with the intention.
Yeah.
Like you have to be a marketing fucking wizard to know exactly what the fallout would be of. You know what? We're gonna
Yeah.
refuse this. See what happens because like
They are.
Yeah, but
like
that's the thing.
because no one who starts a GoFundMe knows exactly how much you're gonna get. So like if it was done on purpose, then I'm hiring this motherfucker to do
Kudos.
my marketing because this
Yeah.
dude knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because let alone your name is out there now. Now they're basically making themselves a martyr because everyone knows them. Everyone knows what they're going through and their stance on it. So if the government is like, yeah, you have to do it, otherwise you stay closed, and then they choose to stay closed, and then the business goes quote unquote out of business. In the public's eye, they're gonna be like, oh no, they closed it. They're gonna be the martyrs. They're gonna be the heroes because they stood for what they stand for and they went down like a champ. But if
Probably when they open up back again now, they're gonna have like a rush of people.
exactly, they're like, oh, see, we're gonna come support you guys because you stood up for us. Blah, blah, blah. So, for as far as the restaurant goes, it's a win-win.
Now then again, I did see a lot of comments on Twitter and shit saying like
They're losing a lot of money though.
yeah, but also
No, of course.
but also saying once they open up, I'm not gonna go there ever again because they
Yeah,
refuse to
use the
protect
checks.
people
So
who
it's a-
want to prepare for Corona.
Okay.
Same that we were saying
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a win-win. It's
Yeah.
like everything in life has a good side and a bad side, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how long like $250,000 in crowdfunding. Like again, I have no idea what their books look like, but they might be in the red. They might have to be making up for shit. Like
True,
it might be
true.
costing them more. I don't
True.
know. Like
Yeah,
I don't know.
we
I don't know
know.
if the government is just locking them down or they're fining them as well.
Yeah.
So who knows? Like, of course, we wish everyone well, and if I have my way, I tell everyone stop fucking complaining about shit and go deal with actual real life shit. Like fucking, like last year, the whole nation was so full of Black Lives Matter protests and shit, and now it's
Yeah.
fucking silent. Nothing's going on.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
nothing has changed for the marginalized people in this fucking country.
Yep.
True.
But then you have people talking about freedom and discrimination and shit, which I agree. Like, cool. If that to you is freedom discrimination, awesome. Yeah, I just think it would be after all this shit is resolved, let's put all that energy that people can obviously have and
Yeah.
show
And
and put into the world.
the
Cool.
more pressing matters.
Exactly. Put it to those things. I'm not
Yeah.
saying don't deal with your shit, deal with it. Like
Exactly,
let
yeah.
it be your issue. Let it be if that's a hill you want to die on, cool. When it's done and said with, once all the restaurants are open again and the Corona Check app is gone, it would be nice to see all this fucking upheaval and hoopla
Yeah.
Yeah.
be put to fucking good use.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Because that's also the thing that was on the news that so basically you log into your DigiD, your digital ID, and then you get your QR code that says you're vaccinated. But apparently there are people that are making counterfeit QR
of
codes now,
course.
and on the news the government is like,
Fucking
yeah,
assholes, dude. I
yeah,
mean,
the government
Scam,
is
scam,
like,
scam.
yeah, this is out there, and at the time, I don't know if they fixed it now, but at the time they were like, yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. There's no way for us to verify if it's legit or not. But but we're also too far along to pull the app back.
I've also read that there are moments where the app was crashing, wasn't working, wasn't registering shit, and
Yeah.
the restaurant owners were standing there in the door with a party of 6 people.
Yeah.
Which I assume they definitely want to have
Of course.
inside.
Yeah, of course.
And then the fucking, like, from 2 people, the app doesn't work. What do you do? Send the whole 6 party? Be like, hey. And it was, I don't even know if the government said what to do in the situation. Can you be like, okay, if the app doesn't work, is it just everyone gets a green light and you go on ahead because then it's out of your hands? It's force majeure?
Yeah.
Or is it like,
No, I think the logical thing would be to send everyone home because you
but
don't know if everyone's
yeah,
tested. everyone's
that
negative.
would be logical to me too. But if there's no specific rule, restaurants gonna be all like,
Yeah.
hey, well, I guess I'll deal with this fucking troll when I
Yeah.
cross it, you know?
I guess, but that's when just morality comes into play, right? So you're gonna I can have these 6 people in and make money, or what else thing is I can have these 6 people in and I could jeopardize everyone else's in this restaurant who did have their pass.
Yeah. True. Yeah. So in that case, you would say, well, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Y'all
if
gotta
I,
leave.
if I was an owner, even though it would hurt my pocket, I would be like, you know what, I can't. I'm sorry, but I have to weigher you. I have to deny you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that's the thing as well. In the beginning with this whole Corona thing, all the restaurants were the first things to like be shut down, and they've been shut down for a long while as well. And because of that, a lot of the big restaurants in the Netherlands, the owners of the big restaurants in the Netherlands, were like very vocal about, yeah, we're open and we're gonna stay open now, and we've lost so much. We have so much to regain. We're gonna do everything possible to stay open. And if that means that we have to get a fine for it, we'll pay the fine, but we're gonna stay
fine.
open.
Man, but I think that's one of those things that people yell out to act tough online. Those fines are no joke.
No joke.
No, I know.
And
I know.
And I don't know. You have to be a very well off like business owner to say that kind of shit and mean it.
Yeah.
Because-
Stand behind it, yeah.
Those fines are no joke.
Yeah, man.
And I think that's like that tough guy shit that people yell online like, oh yeah, we betalen het wel. But like, yeah, you think so, but
Especially people who live in the Netherlands, you know how they love to give out fines, and you know their fines
Exactly,
are
man.
crazy high. So
I'm pretty sure somewhere there's going to be like a boot that you can get to farting too close to a police officer.
Yeah, yeah, standing too close to a horse.
But that's the thing as well. This whole situation is a whole combination of like fear and being tired of being cooped up and being tired of being told no.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's fed up attitude.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's fear anymore because a lot of people are vaccinated, infections are down. You're allowed to do so much shit now. I mean, there's no lockdown anymore.
Yeah. No, but
And if you go to the city, you would never think there's a pandemic going on.
Yeah,
There's a shitload of people, and like you fucking complain about the Corona Check app, cool, but then your experience in Albert Heijn is exactly the same shit.
yeah.
Like
Yep.
in the city and openbaar vervoer, like there's not like they're doing the Corona Check app to get into over vervoer.
No.
No,
So
but what I meant with fear is not necessarily that. It's more of, for example, fear of the people to get the vaccine, because a lot of people are still like, yeah, I don't trust it.
Yeah.
It's still very new. I don't trust it. I don't want.
It's
and
ignorance.
I don't trust the government and stuff like that. And because of that fear, they're not gonna take the vaccine, which gives us this situation of people protesting at the restaurants, because that's the thing.
I wonder how big the group, like everyone who's against the Corona checkout for restaurants. I wonder how big of that group is people who are genuinely doing it for a moral reason of no, it's discrimination, I refuse, and like
How many are banned?
like a person like I'm vaccinated, so it's not an issue for me, but I refuse to take part in this because I don't agree with the morality behind it.
Yeah.
I wonder how big that group is compared to the fucking just the people who are anti-vaccine or fucking conspiracy believers or fucking wacky ass motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And this is just then a way for them to seem like moral about it instead of them just thinking there's fucking microchips in it.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
Because I think most people yelling loud are people who fucking believe that the government's up to no good.
Could be. I don't
And
know.
like on that matter, I might sound like an asshole for saying this, but yeah, it is what it is. Let me phrase it in a PG-13 way, in a PBS way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy that we live in a country where so many people, their biggest issue
Yeah,
is deciding whether or not to choose a vaccine.
16 or not.
If that's the world if that's the country we live in, man, we have it so good.
But, yeah, because
We are blessed beyond fucking belief. And if that's the biggest concern, if
that's the biggest issue.
if you gotta wake up and the one thing you have to do is choose to fight a battle,
yeah,
if it's your decision, then man, you are so lucky and privileged and protected and safe. So I'm happy for all the non-vaxxers that they get to be non-vaxxers.
Yeah.
There's a lot more pressing issue, a lot more bigger shit we could be dealing with right now that we don't have to, luckily.
And
in our own
but the
country.
thing is, I wonder if, because I'm sure we share that opinion also. There are a lot of people from the islands also who are anti-vax. I think for the islands, it's an argument of ignorance. A lot of people who are anti-vax, they didn't, maybe like old generation, didn't get biology, didn't get science in school. So they might not know at all what mRNA is. They don't even know what DNA is. They have no idea how to conceptualize it. Here, you have also young people from young generation who went to school, who have access to good information, who can have access to scientific articles and all that stuff, so they can build a stronger basis of understanding. And instead are all like, no, vaccines are bad for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that might be maybe the older generation over there, also on the islands, I say, maybe somehow influencing the younger generation on the islands. Because I think with the younger generation, I think, of course, we have regular schools like everyone else, right? So I think they do have the knowledge, and they are knowledgeable on, okay, this is how the vaccine kind of works. This is the side effects it could have, blah blah, the effects on you. So I don't think that's the argument there. I think maybe the old generation that are set in their ways, that maybe they seem it as they don't completely trust it, they haven't done the research, let me say.
Yeah.
They know what's completely going on. Or they might think there might be something funky about it. Or they might think, shit, it might be a hassle. Because one thing I did hear is, I don't get it, is a lot of people went for the vaccine, they got their first shot, but then didn't go for the second shot. Which
What's the point?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have this friend who works in a hospital, he went to help there, and he told me, like, yo, a lot of people got their first shot, but then they didn't go back for the second. Which
The fuck is the point of that?
I try to think about it, but I can't see the logic behind it.
You can't even play devil's advocate for
No, because
I went to a barber and they started on my right side, but I didn't fix my left side. That's
Unless
basically
it's
it.
then maybe what you're saying is they maybe not be knowledgeable and they maybe think that one shot is enough. Like if you get half of it or whatever, then
Yeah,
you're good.
because as fucked up as it sounds,
Because I
there's more likely, like name like it's going to mean like name I'm trying to think of a way to sound it not sounds too mean, but okay, let me put it this
You can bleep it
way:
out.
there's more likely a lot less anti-vax people going to Petrus-Stuyvesant Mill Rodilvis that are going to some other certain schools in certain areas.
don't know.
And that's not a knock on them, but
but
your
that's-
level of education and your your openness to understanding more complex situations.
Yeah, but that point that you're making right now is a very, very, very big assumption.
It is. That's what I'm assuming.
So he says
I'm
probably,
assuming
so he doesn't
that.
know, but
I'm assuming that if you go to fucking Otra Banda and you go to school there, there's more likely more people there either from influence from parents or influence from themselves or pure ignorance that will sooner say no, I'm gonna take the vax because I don't understand, I don't trust it, than someone who goes to fucking male picture service under the Dilvis. I think that's not a crazy assumption to make. The more educated you are, the more open you are to understanding complex situations, the more you can think about it.
True, but depending on your personality, it also gives you the ammo to think in the way that you want. Because if you want to decide that this is not what I want to do, you're going to think of all the quote unquote educated arguments to go against it.
Exactly, but I'm saying I'm just assuming in pure numbers, in percentage of total students vaccinated and not vaccinated.
yeah,
I think you're more likely to have more vaccine people in those hoger onderwijs and lager onderwijs.
I have no idea.
you could be right. I won't dare to say yes or no. I don't know.
I don't think it's a crazy assumption to make because it's the people who have a harder time understanding how the whole vaccine thing works are the ones that are quicker to assume that there's something to not be trusted. Because if someone says you've never heard of vaccines, you never understand how they work, you have no idea how fucking enzymes and DNA and mRNA, none of that works, it's hard to understand, it's hard to trust. So your natural human instinct to be like, this is foreign to me, I don't feel good about it. Let's say that you grew up in an academic household, your parents are scientists, you study science, you do biology, you're a microbiologist. If someone then says, hey, this is an mRNA vaccine, you're more likely to be like, cool, let's go. I think that's borderline facts to me.
Yeah, but that's also a little bit of an ignorant thing as well, because from what I remember, the majority of the island already is vaccinated. Because they had a whole plan, because they had a lockdown for a short period of time, and people were like, yeah, we're not staying home. So they had a whole rush of people getting vaccinated. So the majority of the people on the island, the islanders anyway, not I don't know about the tourists, but the majority of the islanders are vaccinated. So right now it's just a really small percentage of people. Who
But I'm talking about the small percent. I think that small percent of people are not doing it pure because it's ignorance. I don't think it's so much fear. They just don't because you're less able to understand the function and the structure and the process of it.
Okay.
And then your ignorant mind then goes like, if I don't understand it, I ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
I don't trust.
No, because the way I was understanding it from you, it sounded like you were talking about the whole population.
No. I'm talking about there's gonna be a group of people on the islands who will probably never get vaccinated.
Yeah.
And that's because for them, they're probably just not able to understand it from that perspective in order to just trust it enough or just make peace with it and say, okay, I'll do it. So their ignorance for them will always trump like the greater good argument.
Yeah.
Like if it's a question of if we just get vaccinated and we can open up again, we can start making money again, tourists can come and all that shit, then it's a different story. But for those people to be like, I just don't fucking trust it. I don't understand. I have no idea what the fuck. I don't even know what DNA stands for. So no, I will not get vaccinated, period. End the story. And that can come... You could argument that that's their upbringing, that's just their environment, that's so, and it's not an asshole thing to say. Some people in the world, in every community, some people just have a lower IQ. Not everyone is genius, not everyone is smart. It's same as every community has fucking geniuses. Every community has those people who are just less able to comprehend difficult and complex situations. So I can understand what those people like, look, I just don't fucking understand it. The same as if you gave me directions in Chinese, I just don't understand it. I don't know where the fuck to go. So
no, that's true.
I guess you can see that way. Yeah.
But here, sometimes my point is like here we have the anti-vax people. I'm like, really, you're anti-vax, but you have access to fucking Google Scholar and you can easily ask questions. The scientific community here is way bigger than on the island. The medical community here is way bigger. You have access to your doctors super easily. You can cycle to any doctor's house or doctor's clinic.
Online with them.
Exactly. It seems difficult to understand for me why so many people have such a strong stance against it. People have like a freedom argument against it that I understand because like if that's your fundamental belief, this is against my rights. Then no explanation of how it medically is accurate will ever save you from it. if it's just this is against my rights as a citizen, I pay my taxes. I shouldn't be forced to do anything. Same as I shouldn't be forced to like drive or not drive or have a license or not have a license. So all the same shit. That I can understand because then it's a principle thing.
I think here, I think that's the majority of the cases. Most people don't want to get it because of the people that I've spoken to that they haven't had it, which is of course not even a sample size or whatever, but most of them all of them said that it's because it's just a choice of their freedom. They don't want to be forced to take it. Okay, if that's your case, then I think but I think that this is the majority case in the Netherlands is that's because just people don't want their freedom taken away from them, just they don't want to take it. And then if we put that aside, I think then the next biggest thing might be that people just don't understand it, or they don't want to take the time to understand it. They don't trust it or whatever. So I think that might be the second biggest factor. Is people just don't want to look into it. They don't know how it works. And they just like, you know what, like you said, like I don't get it. Screw it. I'm not gonna take it.
Yeah, but circling back to what Daryl said like a couple seconds ago, one thing that really burns my pot is what?
Grind your gear or burns your pot?
Burns my pot. Spice Boys.
You know what really curdles my milk?
Yeah. You know what really curdles my milk is again, it's like you said, here, especially here in the Netherlands, you have such an abundance of knowledge and access to it and people that you can go to and talk to these things. A lot of people choose to get their information off of Facebook.
Yeah.
Hearsay. I'm like,
well, Facebook is internet cancer anyway. So
no. But that's the thing that again, as these people, this whole conversation is about choices, right? And instead of choosing to go to a doctor, a physician, a person who knows about this and can.
But the problem with that is that you have doctors and physicians who are also anti-vaxxers that also conspiracy theorists. That's a problem. That's ammo for that side for people in that camp.
Yeah.
Like, oh, but this one doctor said that you shouldn't take it, or hey, no, this virologist said that it was made in fucking laboratory, and like, funny thing to me is what always gets me funny is that people want to fight the battle of whether it's a naturally occurring virus or it was made in the lab. I'm in the camp like, does it fucking matter?
It's here.
As long as I don't fucking get sick and they don't close my business.
It's here. You gotta deal with it. So
exactly, and people they really want to. That's the hill they want to die on. For nope. No, it was made in a fucking laboratory. As if that makes a difference.
But especially again, social media on Facebook and Twitter, people like to like stir up shit and make false shit. Like there was a whole thing in the States. I think it was like either Rihanna or Nicki Minaj. One of their like sister or brother-in-law got the vaccine, but then the side effect that person got is that their balls swelled up.
Yeah.
And that was on the news. I'm like, really? Is this really newsworthy?
Did you see that? And everyone on Twitter was all like, yeah, your cousin has fucking STD. You might want to get checked out. And that wasn't the fucking vaccine.
Yeah.
That boy been fucking around. Because it was, he took the vaccine and he got side effects and his testicles swelled up and now and he was engaged and now the wedding is canceled. The wedding might be canceled because this guy's been fucking around and he's walking around with STIs and shit.
And the thing that annoys me is that they always end those posts with like # do your own research.
Yeah, for real.
And I'm like, yes, Johnny the fucking, I don't fucking know, dumbass who can't fucking read a book, he's going to do his own research on Facebook. And,
but like to bring it all home, most people don't know what doing research is.
Yeah.
Like if you haven't been taught how to do research,
exactly.
If you don't know how to check citations and check sources and read abstracts, like people think if you Google why the vaccine is bad and you read an article, people call that research. Again, so and that's what makes this whole argument so difficult because you can't fault someone for not knowing why they're wrong. You know?
Yeah, true.
It's hard to fault someone for they don't have the faculties to understand why they're wrong.
Yeah.
But you want to argue with them just based on that fact, then it comes down to point. At some point, we gotta just stop arguing about shit because whether you believe in conspiracy or not, whether you're anti or pro, whatever. What sucks for me is that we just can't get to the point where let's just fucking solve the problem.
Yeah.
All beliefs aside, because you can be a fucking Jew, Muslim, or Christian, you're still gonna get COVID.
Yeah.
You can be anti-vax or vax, you can still get COVID. Then you also have the people who don't believe COVID fucking exists. And that's a whole nother conversation to have. But it doesn't get down to the point like, hey,
get together.
Enough people are suffering. Enough
Yeah.
people are hurt. Enough people are dying.
Yep.
Let's just solve the fucking problem at whatever cost.
Yeah,
Let's go.
but that's been the issue since the dawn of time.
Yeah,
Like, people
true,
just
true,
can't
true,
get
true.
together to solve anything.
Maybe that's
So,
just like a fucking the hopeful mind in me.
yeah. No, I get it. But it's very hopeful, but you know,
Yeah,
it's
I don't
hopeful.
think
That's what
yeah.
it is.
And especially like in Holland. I mean, we're such a privileged fucking nation. We have everything we need to succeed, and we're not living in fucking Venezuela. This is not the Middle East. This is not fucking North Korea. Like every life here is so fucking easy for the majority of people. Again, you always have to say this because you can't say shit nowadays. It depends on one. I'm sure there's exceptions to the rule in every situation. There might be someone who even here, the whole universe is against them, and no matter what they do, cool. Absolutely, that's true. There's always exception. The majority of people have it easy enough here to, if you do what you got to do, the country will help you move forward.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And everything's so good here, but then we just can't fucking get along. We can't just be like, hey, because
Kumbaya.
we should be able to be like, hey, this person here, his beliefs are opposite of mine. He's anti-vax, I'm vax. Like, he's pro this, I'm against that. Cool. But you're still my brother. You're still my fellow citizen. You're still my neighbor. At the end of the day, I gotta make sure that you're not fucking sad, upset, suffering, or dying.
Yeah.
And when it's my turn, you'll do the same for me. We can just fucking move forward. I ain't gonna agree with shit. But that's why me and Fleur, like, when we're trying to buy a house, I don't want to buy a house in those fucking dorpios where everyone's the fucking same religion.
Yeah.
Everyone's fucking white. Everyone's fucking one color. Everyone's fucking one race. Because to me, that just seems like, for me, a recipe for frustration.
Yeah, especially if you don't agree with them, then it's definitely not gonna work out.
The thing is that they won't agree with me. I don't give a shit what you believe in. But then if you go to like a super religious dorpia, and then Sunday everything is closed,
Yeah.
because it's like it's Jesus' fucking birthday or something, then you're like, okay, damn, now I can't do anything.
Thing.
So it's I'm the oddball in the pond, you know?
Yeah. But bring it to a bit more of a personal side. You got married recently, right? And like for your marriage, you also have to do we have to do the corona
The QR
check,
code.
right?
Yeah.
Was it for you guys? Was it a big thinking point at all, or was it like, yeah, let's do it, or did you guys really have to think about it, or
To what?
to
Do it at your wedding.
yeah?
It wasn't up to us.
Not even that, but if to either just so have it at the wedding or postpone the wedding until maybe this is over and this is
No, fuck
past
no.
and then,
It wasn't a thought. It was, if you want to come to the wedding, follow whatever fucking rules the government is. That hey, this is a democratic system. You should have voted for fucking someone else. Now you didn't. You got to live with that until you can make a change.
Yeah.
But the same motherfucker's not gonna vote for the same people in a few years.
True.
But we were like, the law is the law. And look, I have a minority mindset. I know my vote doesn't fucking matter in these situations. I gotta play by the rules. I gotta follow the law. I gotta do what I gotta do to make me and people around me happy.
Yeah.
I have no, like, I'm not gonna be a revolutionist because that's not my story, right? So I'm like, follow the fucking rules. So we told everyone, like, if you don't want to get vaxxed, you got to get tested. You don't want to get tested or you test negative, you're not gonna fucking come to the wedding.
Yeah.
Period. End of story.
Yeah.
To me, it wasn't
So
even an
simple as
issue.
that.
As simple as that.
Okay. I was just curious because you have to do it in the wedding.
Because
or you could-
I don't agree. I don't want to have to check in anyone at the door, but I also don't
have a
want.
choice.
But what I want less than that is to have someone at the wedding who has COVID.
Yeah.
Or to postpone your wedding another year because you have already like changed the date 3 times at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's true. And the way it's going now, and I don't think we're gonna be done in a year anyway. So God knows how many years we have to postpone it before you get married. So I get it. I guess all in all.
But bring it even more back now to the original point. This whole Waku Waku situation.
Waku Waku.
Do you guys think more people are going to follow suit? You think a lot more restaurants are going to be against it enough that's going to make the government shift?
No.
Because they took the gemeente Utrecht or the burgemeester to court and to appeal.
Yeah.
And then the judge said, look, we get it.
But
You're making the questions you're asking are valid questions, but the national health crisis takes
supersedes
precedent.
that. Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, laws, law, rules, rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the government that you vote that won the election by democratic process says this is what everyone has to do, then I guess that's what everyone has to do.
Yeah.
True.
But that's also the thing. Like a lot of restaurants now, they're actually being very prosperous with this whole situation. Yeah, there have been a lot of restaurants that are closed down that don't exist anymore, that have been around for like.
So I'm
But
assuming the
that don't
majority are
exist anymore.
struggling. I think, right?
It depends on the restaurants. A lot of the restaurants that I know of, it's picking up to the point where they have to get more staff.
Yeah,
And-
but is
and-
it getting more staff from being like skeleton crew, or is it getting more staff from their normal baseline of
There's
operations?
a skeleton crew as well, but it that only means that it's getting busier.
True.
So, as far as the restaurants themselves, yeah, I think they're going to be pushing back against it, but at a certain point, they're going to be like, yeah, weet je wat, we gaan gewoon, and then they just do it.
Because the thing is, you can also protest and push back and fight for reform while still following the rules. I mean, let's be honest. Throughout recent history, marginalized people have done that already.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to break the rule to try and change the rule. You can follow the rules. Like every day that you have to do that, you can make a big stand against it. You can like fucking throw it online. You can still catch headlines while following the rules. Still fight the system.
Yeah.
You don't have to break the rule at that moment and deal with all the shit that comes from it to make change happen. And as a restaurant, for restaurants, I think like I would say make the case that okay, the government has to pay for that employee to be at the door and check everyone.
Yep. But that's actually something that we talked about, but government's not gonna do that.
My point is fight the system while working with like in the system. You know.
But isn't it in a case like especially in the case with was Waku Waku? Then aren't you going against your core principle though?
True,
And
absolutely.
then
Yeah.
I can then if you're going, then I can't follow you. I can't back you up if you're trying to fight the system, but you're still gonna do the check. But you're going against your core principle.
That's a good point.
Then I
Yeah.
can't have you back.
Yeah. So how the fuck are you supposed to do it then?
Because
Because then you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think what you said that's what they should do. I think okay, the restaurants should be like, okay, fine. You want us to go through all these maatregelen. You want us to have have someone to check everybody that walks in. Then you regel that. You as the government, you start a branch, a whole new fucking business, have personnel, and then that's their job. So then when they're creating jobs, and the restaurateurs are going to have someone there that they don't have to worry about. That's not part of their staff. It's a government person that's always there that's going to check people in.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that those one of the things that it makes sense, but it's most likely a
More
lot easier said than done.
Yeah, of course.
That's why
yeah.
To round it off and to like bring this topic home, because I think we could talk about this for a long time.
Yeah.
Is for the owners of Waku Waku and their approach to everything, like, because you said something about following your principles, standing behind it. So that's something that you most likely respect when people do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So
yeah.
and then I'm on the side like I understand, but I don't judge any other restaurant owner who decides to play by the rules because they don't want to risk it or they're unable to play that role or to take that stance. So like, how do we feel about this? How do we feel about this whole rule and restaurants? Do we wish them well? Do we say, hey, like you got to change your tune?
As far as Waku Waku itself goes, I wish the employees and the business owners the best of luck. But yeah, unless you get like a Hail Mary from the government, you're gonna have to doing it, or you're gonna close down and start another restaurant if there are funds over.
Or just wait it out until the rule gets removed, right?
Because if you open another restaurant, you're going to deal with the same issues again.
But that's the thing. They can't wait it out because sure they can wait, but they still have to pay rent.
Well, that GoFundMe is $250,000, so I paid like
no,
they might be able to wait it out. Like because the government said it's a temporary rule. If they can wait it out for how long it takes for them to remove the rule, then they did win. They play the right chess pieces and they win.
Could
technically.
Time will tell, I guess.
Yeah.
I hope for them that if that's the case, if this is a principle stand, a fundamental moral stand, and they're not gonna play ball, I really hope that the support they're getting now is continuous enough until they can cross
Last.
that line.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they're getting like a mountain of support from celebrities to the fucking local, from teenagers, from everyone.
Yeah.
So I hope that fills the well long enough for them for the government to say, okay, we've done this for long enough. We don't need to do it anymore.
Yeah,
we out.
Yeah.
I wish them all the best. We've lost already so many great restaurants. It's in Utrecht alone. I can't even say for the rest of the country. So if they can hold out, good for them.
For me, it's like I said in the beginning. I agree with the whole Corona stem pass check, because I do believe the need of the majority supersedes like the few restaurants or the restaurants that are affected. So battling the pandemic is the first thing for me. That goes number one. And if this is the right step to it, which I believe it is, then we got to do this. But then again, I do also applaud them for standing by the principle. If that's what you believe in, if that's truly what you stand for and what you're going for, then do that. But I don't know. Also, of course, we wish them the best. Hope everything works out. But yeah, this is my point. Like I said, I do think this Corona stem check goes first.
But I agree with that, though. I always respect someone who stands behind whatever they believe in.
Yeah,
whether they're right or wrong.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like if you don't have the balls to stand behind what you believe in, then that's the old saying: if you won't stand for something, you fall for everything. Is that the saying? Did I say that right?
Yep.
I think so. So I definitely respect them for taking that, and I just hope that all this publicity shit fucking works in their favor. Because now at least Graham knows where the fuck they are and who the fuck they are.
True.
Not that Graham's going to go eat there very often.
I mean, I got a personal invite. You never know, man.
Really? You're going to eat at a vegan restaurant?
I tried vegan cauliflower rings. If they have those, I'll try them.
Okay.
Yeah, Chris, send the recipe.
Exactly. I'll bring my own little jar of kunuko. I'll put it on everything. It'll work out.
Just sit there with like a jar of kunuko and a spoon and just eat that. Just like fucking...
Put it in my they have desserts. I'll eat desserts. Put it in my desserts, What is your stance, though, to round it off?
I mostly agree with you.
Yeah.
And my whole point is that.
Oh yeah.
Like one person saying we will not stand for discrimination is not everyone else saying we will discriminate.
True.
Yeah.
I believe that restaurant owners are doing everything they can to make sure that their concept, their staff, their customers are good. Mm-hmm. That for them as a business owner comes first, and you want to do that to the best of your ability within the rules and guidelines.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And I just really fucking hope they don't make gyms do this shit, because
that's going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Look, I think most of my clients are vaxxed, but I do know specific amount of them that are not.
Yeah.
And there are a few who are very, very strongly anti-vax.
Uh-huh.
And gyms have been closed longer than restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And restaurants could at least do fucking thuisbezorg and shit.
Yeah.
So
online training.
Yeah. I don't know if one sector has been penalized more than the other, but I do know we've been closed longer, and there's not much we can do now.
Yeah.
So I fucking hope they leave us the fuck alone, because at least we're
do the check now, right? The
no, we don't have to. No, and let's hope it fucking stays that way.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for listening. This has been another one. It's been a bit of a thing.
It's been a bit more of a serious topic, so let us know what you guys think. If you want to hear and see more of these type of topics, or you want to keep it more light,
let us know.
Yeah, we're interested as well.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, let us know your opinion. What you guys think about this? Are you guys against it, bro? You guys don't give a fuck? Just let us know.
Yeah, and we said a bunch of shit about a bunch of different topics. We of course hope we don't discriminate. We didn't offend anyone.
No.
Now then, it's so hard to say something without offending someone, but we mean everything with the best of intentions.
Yes, sir.
And nothing but love. And we're all here just trying to learn and understand things more, so we can all become better people.
For sure.
So please subscribe, like, follow us on Instagram at Kunuku Spices, and check out our website, kunukuspices.nl. And that was that.
Please do your research on everything, not just Corona, just everything in general. Yeah.
Oh shit, we have to disclaim that too.
Yeah.
Okay, we are not medical experts. None of this is medical or health advice. Shit, we're gonna get flagged so hard now. Oh,
a couple of guys.
YouTube algorithm is gonna fucking drop this video. Shit.
A couple of guys talking their talk,
research. Everything we said was a sketch. It was all fucking.
It's satire.
Everything was satire
it's
because.
A prank.
Fuck, I forgot that. Oh man, the algorithm's gonna fuck us up so bad right now.
All right. We cut this to the beginning of the video.
Yeah. Disclaimer. All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.